Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Simply Nerdy. This is Anthony hosting today, and I'm joined by everyone in the group. Say hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Hello.
We're belatedly talking about a kind of huge announcement recently, or at least an extension of something we already knew about, that I have decided to allow myself to fully buckle into the hype train for. And so that's why I'm heading this one up today. So we are talking about Xenoblade Chronicles 3. We had a new trailer drop just a few days ago, and there was a lot of delightful and delectable little details that were included in that trailer. And not the least of which is that they bumped up the release date by like 2 months. So,
oh snap!
July 29th. I'm pretty darn stoked. That's not a common thing for Nintendo games either. Usually, if the release date changes, and I mean there wasn't anything set in stone. You know, they just said September. But if they're going to change a suggested release date, it's usually to put it further out, not closer. So
that's true of any video game.
That's fair.
I can't think of any other examples of a game releasing earlier than it was originally planned. Sure, it's happened. I just can't think of any examples.
Something must be going very right.
Yeah.
David, didn't you have a theory about that?
I mean, so we recently had the news that Breath of the Wild 2 was releasing next year, right? For Breath of the Wild 2, we never had a solid release date anyway, other than a vague 2022, right? So it wasn't too surprising, but it did make me wonder if after hearing Xenoblade 3 is releasing earlier, a couple months earlier, like I can't say it. Can't say it. Monolith Soft
You got it!
has helped. They helped with Breath of the Wild, the original game, right? They helped develop the world.
Mm-hmm.
And I've heard that they're helping again with Breath of the Wild too. So maybe this delay has allowed them to like completely focus on finishing Xenoblade, and they were able to finish it early. So that's what I'm thinking.
This might not be the case, but it is at least serendipitously the case that perhaps this will take off some of the heat they're getting for delaying Breath of the Wild. I know that Xenoblade is not a comparable franchise in terms of popularity as of currently, but the fact that they're releasing it earlier is probably, in some circles, mitigating the fact that they delayed Breath of the Wild. I don't know.
I mean, it is in my circle.
Yeah, I was gonna be like, it is fair.
Wait, minus me. I'm just kidding. I have some repenting to do.
You need to make sure you're keeping your RPG heretic status current, Steve.
RTD?
That is true.
RPG
I actually still haven't even beaten the first one. Yet, so I'm very behind.
Well, get on it, Steve.
I need to get on it before this release.
I didn't want to go too deep into the weeds because that's probably a video for another time. Although I definitely could go deep into the weeds, but I just wanted to talk about a few of the things that were showcased in the trailer that I'm pretty excited about, and everyone should of course interject at any time because I can run my mouth otherwise. I'm just going to jump right to the thing that really buckled me into the hype train just nice and securely, is that battle system. That battle system just looks fantastic. And I mean, like, we still don't know a ton about it, but, you know, as a huge Xenoblade fan, there was a lot of things I was able to kind of pick up on just by looking at the UI. And trust me, when that part of the video came along, I paused it and I studied it like a textbook. I mean, I don't know if I've come up with any sensible conclusions, but basically what I've seen so far that's got me excited is just, you know, some of the possibilities coming from it. So first of all, first impressions, it kind of seems like Xenoblade 3's combat system is kind of a fusion of Xenoblade 1 and Xenoblade 2. And that's actually kind of exciting to me because both had really compelling elements. I think overall, I probably preferred Xenoblade 1. And I think the reason for that is that I felt like for all of Xenoblade 2's complexity in terms of its battle system, it could be very linear at times. And I think that's probably why I liked Xenoblade 1 more in terms of combat. It's definitely a simpler system, but it wasn't nearly so linear. It felt like your various tactical opportunities were available to you at any time, or at least not so many layers deep. And so now that I've gone on, on this very technical rant, I'll just say basically, that the UI shows to me that, they're doing some combination of the two, because we can see that the layout is very similar to Xenoblade 2's in the sense that rather than having an arts palette that you have to, cycle through, each of your arts is just assigned to one of the face buttons. And then it looks like there's some interesting stuff going on with the directional buttons. Looks like there's some additional arts you can map on that side. So it'll be interesting to see how that works. There's something over in the corner about the interlink, and that relates to the Ouroboros fusions, which is another really cool thing that I'm going to get into in a bit.
Oh boy.
Anyway, so there's all that. And then another thing I couldn't help but notice is there's the ZL button is listed as tactics. So, we have no idea what that could entail. I mean, it could be just something as simple as like a Tales of type tactic system where you just say all out or defensive or return to me. It could be just something as simple as that, but who knows? Maybe it could be.
I would like to point out that Xenoblade Chronicles 1 at least did have tactics like that. It was basically tell them all to focus on the same enemy, go for what they wanted, or I don't know, hang around you. I'm not certain it's going to be more than that, but
yeah, there's a part of me that's kind of expecting it to be not the most complex thing in the world.
I don't know that it's going to be terribly complex, but given how much it already looks like there is of the battle system, complex tactics would maybe be overkill. But then again, I'm not a resident PDF enthusiast.
Basically, I'm at the point where I'm kind of expecting it to be, not the most complex thing in the world. But at the same time, it makes me wonder, why do they have a dedicated button for it then? Because I feel like with Xenoblade 1, it was just kind of a hot mapping system, but kind of a shortcut system. I'm not sure if I'm remembering that correctly. But anyway, it would be really cool. To be honest, I kind of hope that they give you a little bit more control over your party members. And I think that maybe this is a good segue for another one of the big things that they're making, a big change with in this game is all of your parties are in battle all the time. There is no switching out party members.
Yeah, that is insane.
Yeah.
I'm excited about that.
There are so many characters on that screen. Sorry, Lisa, go ahead.
I'm excited mostly because I wonder how they're going to get away with it. It seems like in order to preserve difficulty, they would either have to buff general HP or they would have to really throttle the amount of damage each person can do. Or maybe both.
Xenoblade Chronicles Warriors.
No.
Thousands of enemies coming at you to eat your face.
Stop it, Steven.
Hush your mouth, Steve.
Eventually, every game just becomes a Warriors game.
This has been Steven. I'm signing off.
No.
That is peace. He's out.